Welcome to Kaumudy Global. Jean-Luc Godard, who revolutionized popular cinema in 1960 with his debut feature Breathless and stood for years as one of the world's most vital and provocative directors, has passed away. He was 91. Godard defied convention over a long career that began in the 1950s as a film critic. He rewrote rules for camera, sound, and narrative. His films propelled Jean-Paul Belmondo to stardom, and his controversial modern nativity play Hail Mary grabbed headlines when Pope John Paul II denounced it in 1985. But Godard also made a string of films, often politically charged and experimental, which pleased very few outside a small circle of fans and frustrated many critics through their purported overblown intellectualism. Born into a wealthy French-Swiss family on December 3, 1930 in Paris, Godard grew up in Nyon, Switzerland, studied ethnology at the Sorbonne in France's capital, where he was increasingly drawn to the cultural scene that flourished in the Latin Quarter Cine Club after World War II. He became friends with future big-name directors Francois Truffaut, Jacques Rivette, and Eric Rohmer, and in 1950 founded the short-lived Gazette du Cinéma. After working on two films by Rivette and Rohmer in 1951, Godard tried to direct his first movie while traveling through North and South America with his father, but never finished it. Back in Europe, he took a job in Switzerland as a construction worker on a dam project. He used the pay to finance his first complete film, the 1954 Operation Concrete, a 20-minute documentary about the building of the dam. Returning to Paris, Godard worked as spokesman for an artist agency and made his first feature in 1957, All Boys Are Called Patrick, released in 1959, and continued to hone his writing. He also began work on Breathless, based on a story by Truffaut. It was to be Godard's first big success when it was released in March 1960. Like Truffaut's The 400 Blows, released in 1959, Godard's film set the new tone for French movie aesthetics. Godard rejected conventional narrative style and instead used frequent jump cuts that mingled philosophical discussions with action scenes. He spiced it all up with references to Hollywood gangster movies and nods to literature and visual art. In 1961, Godard married Danish-born model and actress Anna Karina, who appeared in a string of movies he made during the remainder of the 1960s, all of them seen as new wave landmarks. Notable among them were My Life to Live, Alphaville, and Crazy Pete, which also starred Belmondo and was rumored to have been shot without a script. Godard, who was later to gain a reputation for his uncompromising left-wing political views, had a brush with French authorities in 1960 when he made The Little Soldier. The movie, filled with references to France's colonial war in Algeria, and was not released until 1963, a year after the conflict ended. His work turned more starkly political by the late 1960s. Godard harbored a lifelong sympathy for various forms of socialism depicted in films ranging from the early 1970s to early 1990s. In December 2007, he was honored by the European Film Academy with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Godard took potshots at Hollywood over the years. He remained home in Switzerland rather than travel to Hollywood to receive an honorary Oscar at a private ceremony in November 2010. His lifelong advocacy of the Palestinian cause also brought him repeated accusations of anti-Semitism, despite his insistence that he sympathized with the Jewish people and their plight in Nazi-occupied Europe. Though the Academy received some complaints about Godard being selected to receive the award, its president Tom Chirac said the director was recognized solely for his contributions to film in the New Wave era. In 2010, Godard released film Socialism, a film in 3 chapters, first shown at the Cannes Film Festival. He spent his last years living in Rolle, Switzerland, near where he grew up along the shores of Lake Geneva. Internationally renowned filmmaker Adoor Gopalakrishnan said that French filmmaker Jean-Luc Godard changed the grammar of filmmaking and created his own path in making films. Adoor said Godard's intellectual abilities were seen in his first movie, Breathless. He questioned the traditional mode of filmmaking and created his own path. He has used a unique style of the character directly speaking to the audience. The acclaimed filmmaker said Godard had even developed a new methodology to make digital movies. This is Anjana signing off. Do like and share this video. For further updates, subscribe to Kaumudy Global.